Ouch!
What are you doing?
That hurts.
Jeez, you are so strong.
You're being clumsy today.
I can't stop being Wreck-It Ralph.
You're hilarious, Joe.
You want to sit next to the window?
Go in this one.
Let's get a picture of Yoshi on his first train ride at the Tennessee Valley Railroad.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum. Some of you may be wondering why I make my announcements like a ringmaster for the circus. Well, ironically, in my 29 years of railroading, one of my odd jobs was I was one of the last train masters of the Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus Red Unit train. So at one point, your conductor ran away and joined the circus. Today on our train, we have Jason. Jason's here at 907. Everybody say hi to Jason. And then going through 1480 here in a moment is Jonathan, my other train man. Everybody say hi to Jonathan in 1480. And then up on our head end is Zach and Andrew manning the controls in the fire of 630.
This is like 6.
We're going to be traveling over portions of the original East Tennessee and Georgia Railway that was completed in 1859. And then in the early 20th century, when Southern Railway was created through the mergers of the East Tennessee Georgia Railway and several others to create the Southern Railway, they would modernize this line. They would modernize this line in 1906. So as if you're traveling forwards, when I say left is left, or I say left is left, then left is left. And if I say right is right, right. But if you're riding backwards, left is right and right is left. So if you look over to the left, you'll see a gravel road. That gravel road over there to the left side, other window. That is the original 1859 right-of-way there of the East Tennessee and Georgia Railway. And here, just before we cross the South Chickamauga Creek Bridge, you see a tree with a yellow mark. That yellow mark is the high water mark of the 1867 flood. When we go over the South Chickamauga Creek, that creek raised over 65 feet above its current level. As you see, in the 19th century and all the way up to the 1930s, the Chattanooga area was very prone to severe flooding. And just a couple weeks ago, with that rain, that creek was only about 20 feet above its current level right now. So the big reason Southern Railway in 1906 would upgrade, realign, and improve this railroad was to get out of the floodplain. So if you also look to your left, you'll see our McCarty passing siding. So when the railroad upgraded, they double-tracked it, meaning 2 main tracks with bi-directional travel. One track for westbound trains, the other track for eastbound trains. And then they also installed a modern signal system. And it would be like this up until the early 1950s when Southern Railway would abandon this line and then move around Missionary Ridge, and I'll explain that here in a little bit. As we go over our second trestle, we're going over the Western Atlantic Railway. Some of you may have never heard of the Western Atlantic, or some of you may be thinking to your American history class in high school. The Western Atlantic Railway is known for a little event that occurred in April of 1862, known as the Great Locomotive Chase. Great Locomotive Chase started in Big Shanty, Georgia, and would end approximately 10 miles south of here near Ringgold, Georgia. So, a group of Union soldiers and spies, many from my home state of Ohio, would commandeer the locomotive named the General and thus be chased down by a gentleman by the name of Fullerton, and the locomotive called the Texas. Thus you had the Great Locomotive Chase. However, the Western Atlantic Railroad is honestly now a paper railroad, but there are still physical tracks. As you can see, CSX Transportation leases the Western Atlantic Railway from the state of Georgia. Yes, the state of Georgia owns property in Tennessee. And CSX pays the state of Georgia $12.5 million a year to operate and maintain that railroad. And that part of the railroad is part of CSX's vital north-south route between Chicago and Atlanta. That industry that we pass to our right with some of our stored excess equipment is Allied Metals. Allied Metals is one of our many freight customers to the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum and our subsidiaries. Yes, here at Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum, we do move freight and we do have common carrier status, meaning we're authorized to move freight. Allied Metal receives boxcar loads of zinc ingots, melts them down, and uses them for machinery and coating processes. Besides Allied Metals, we also serve several customers on our belt line there along Holt's Claw Avenue that runs near the zoo. And then we also have our Tyner Terminal Railway, so we do the switching for Volkswagen, ADM Sweetener, and a few other customers over there. So with our freight business, that helps us keep the wheels turning besides your ticket purchase. We're now crossing our third trestle over Tunnel Boulevard. With the name Tunnel Boulevard, what do you think will be on Tunnel Boulevard? A tunnel. Thank you for the gentleman in 907 being fully engaged. Yes, it was called Tunnel Boulevard because there was a tunnel right there, and that tunnel was for a roadway underneath. In the early 20th century, the automobile became more prevalent. The city of Chattanooga and Hamilton County punched a hole under the railroad. Thus, the road became known as Tunnel Boulevard. However, when the railroad was abandoned in the 1950s, that tunnel was no longer needed, and it was just an added maintenance cost. So Southern Railway and the city of Chattanooga and Hamilton County would agree to daylight the tunnel there. So now we have a Tunnel Boulevard without the tunnel. I am starting a petition to have Tunnel Boulevard renamed in honor of my trainman Jason Fields' way. That is going to be the only way Jason gets his way. We are now making the climb up Missionary Ridge. Instead of going over Missionary Ridge, we're going to go through Missionary Ridge with the 986-foot long Missionary Ridge Tunnel, also known as the James Whiteside Tunnel. That is our engineer, Zach, right now, blowing for the tunnel, making sure if anybody is in the tunnel to get out of the way. If you have a flashlight app on your phone or your flash app, you may want to hold it up to the window as we go through the Missionary Ridge Tunnel, and you can get an idea what a 19th century tunnel looks like on the inside. Construction on the tunnel started in 1856, completed in 1858, and dedicated in 1859. The tunnel's 986 feet long. It was completely dug out by hand and hand tools only. Black powder was not invented until 1867, or dynamite was not invented until 1867, and black powder could not be used because of the natural water and springs in the tunnel preventing its use. Plus, due to the geological makeup, they were also afraid of a cave-in with using black powder. In 1858, two crews working either side would meet here towards the center of the tunnel and only off-center by 3 inches. That is a rather marvelous engineering feat of the time. As I said before, this 3 miles of railroad was abandoned for a reason, and this particular reason was this tunnel. Either side of the tunnel was double track, and trains were traveling up to 70 miles an hour. And however, the tunnel was single track, so when Southern upgraded in 1906, due to the geological makeup of this tunnel, they could not widen it or raise the roof of the tunnel without major collapse. So in the late mid 1950s, Southern would completely abandon this line because they built a bypass around Missionary Ridge.
That's cool.
That bypass is still in use today by Norfolk Southern Railway, and that is the elevated mainline tracks you see there at Grand Junction. We are now on approach to our destination of East Chattanooga. At East Chattanooga, you're more than welcome to exit the train and see our turntable demonstration and participate in our back shop tour. However, there is no obligation to leave the train. You're more than welcome to stay on here, but you'll be missing all the cool stuff. At East Chattanooga, we also have our depot that will be open with restrooms and as well as gifts, souvenirs, and snacks. We do have a few rules if you exit the train at East Chattanooga. 1, please stay on the paved areas. Do not wander off into the gravel or ballast. 2, please stay with the tour at all times. Please do not wander off. 3, please do not pose or climb on any of the equipment. A lot of this equipment here is under repair or restoration, so trying to climb up a piece of equipment, you may think you're doing yourself good by using the handrails, but those handrails may not be properly secured, and the next thing you know, you're laying on your back. And then me and my crew are having
Somerville, Georgia goes this way.
So please do not
Yoshi,
climb on
unfortunately,
any
did not
of the
get it.
equipment.
Well, I'll tell you what,
That's
since he's a
enough.
celebrity, he can ride.
That's all.
East Chattanooga is an active rail yard, so please be on the lookout for any moving machinery.
Folks, in case
or
Chris doesn't
equipment
say
at any
it, we'll be
time.
disembarking on car number 907. One car
So
ahead,
here in a
please.
moment, we'll make the stop at East Chattanooga. My trainman and I will make the announcement, and you may exit. When exiting the train, you'll turn left to head down to the turntable. And then after we spin locomotive 630 on the turntable, we'll head over to the back shop for our back shop tour. Train 100 now arriving East Chattanooga.
There's progress for you.
Did you not got numbers in that kids?
I thought he just asked for it.
No.
But, yeah,
He was joking about it.
I thought he just came on and asked for tickets. I was like, yeah, here.
He said he would let him slide because
He's a celebrity.